Hello, thank you for joining me at Bert's Books. It's been a little while since I've rattled anything off. It does take me quite a while to script these things. If I'm going to script them, you can usually tell if I have, because you can see my eyes go into the screen. when I can't even remember a line to regurgitate, but sometimes I'll just try and extemporise and trip over my words even more, but that's what's going to happen now. I thought anyway I'd just do a quick update on things I've either been reading or picked up in the last few weeks, not all of which would come under the umbrella of pulp literature or not even books in every case. But anyway, to start with, this is an area I would never have known about had I not picked this book up. Ismail Kadari, Broken April. Now this concerns itself with an area of traditional, I think, tribal law in Albania. There's this code known as the Kanun, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm not quite sure when this book is actually set. I think the author was born in the 30s, and I believe the Kanun may have been repressed quite heavily during the communist years, and how much of a revival it would have experienced since then, I'm not even clear. But this book deals with this kind of honour system, part of which involves family feuds, which has there are these very intricate, I don't know if mafia-like is a fair comparison, but there are these kind of ritualised rules for family feuds that kind of enable disagreements between families to become very bloody, and also to just persist for generations, to the point that no one quite remembers even what the original disagreement might have been. But very, very morbid and quite strange. I'm only part way into this one so far, but it's a bit of an eye-opener. It's like I say, I would never have known about this this phenomenon of the Kanun had I not just kind of slightly randomly picked this one up. So I don't know if anyone else does this, but I have this thing that if I'm doing a trawl of the charity shops, a kind of rule that you should not come home empty-handed. You have to find something, right? So a couple of weeks ago, I didn't find much to tempt me, but to just get this over with, I came home with this. Now, before I get too far into this, I'm conscious that my usual frivolous bullshit is not really the appropriate mode for this subject matter. Maybe something I'd need to sort of, again, script it and work up to it properly if I'm going to deal with it. It was, so if I'm going to talk about recent purchases, this was a recent purchase. I'm not even that much of a true crime person as a rule, but I think there are certain cases hooked into the public consciousness to such a hideous degree, and this one being one of them. Now, once I picked it up, I did. Once you start, you're in. I've kind of semi-forgotten, or actually failed to absorb on previous readings of other treatments on this case, that the level of awfulness, I'd kind of forgotten some aspects of that. This is a fairly, it's written, I think it's written by a journalist who had reported on the case as it unfolded, I believe. Picture of him there in those very 90s looking braces. Howard Soons. Now this treatment is fairly, I suppose it's fairly straightforward and workmanlike. That doesn't make it bad. It's you know, I suppose it's what you would expect. I think he was a Mirror reporter. I guess the treatment is kind of what you would expect from someone who came at it from that angle. The book on this area, which you know, I may actually come to and do an episode on if I'm ever in the right frame of mind for it. But the book that really affected me on this case is the Gordon Byrne book called Happy Like Murderers. I don't want to get too far into this one today, but I might store that Gordon Byrne one up for a possible future episode, perhaps. Like I say, you do need to be in the frame of mind. So yes, moving on from there. Next one, a complete unknown to me, Frank Coffey's The Shaman. The Shaman has risen. Pray for his death. Now this is to do with seems to be some sort of ritual. He has risen. He wants your daughter. The naked body of a man, younger now than it had been just a few days before, lay on a stone pedestal. Though it was still and cold, the open eyes were unclouded, the muscles soft and pliant, untouched by rigor mortis. Under the flickering light of the lamp the face grew younger. The harsh lines etched by age faded from the yellow skin. Drops of blood spattered on the man's bare feet, washing away the black ash that coated his skin. At first the body lay still, then the shaman lives. Pray for his death. I guess it's to do with some ritual. Fuck knows. I don't think I know this author. And another recent find from the Dennis Wheatley Library of the Occult, The Prisoner in the Opal. Now I've had a couple of others from this series which seem to be existing works that just had the kind of Wheatley banner slapped on it and reprinted. I think it's Sphere Books, and I think you usually get a little foreword from Dennis himself. The other one I know I also have somewhere, it's actually a textbook on voodoo by an author I think called Alfred Mitreau, which once you get past the kind of horror library trappings of it, it's actually quite interesting insight into the workings and practice of the voodoo religion. From what I remember of it, it's a long time since I read it, but kind of slightly not a sensationalised kind of schlocky horror thing at all. Once you get past the Dennis Wheatley branding of it. This Prisoner in the Opal, A.E.W. Mason, not familiar with it at all. Volume 10 of the Library of the Occult. The two men standing face to face, the priest sheltering what knowledge he had behind a stolid face, Hanno towering over him like an inquisitor. You did not find all your vestments in the sacristy this morning, for one of them is in the mortuary at Villeblanche, stained with the blood of a young woman who dined at the same table with you in this house. Okay, it's a detective. It's an occult detective novel drawn into the Wheatley franchise. Also, I won some prizes, which were DVDs. This kind of slightly random selection. Well, first of which, I'm not sure to this day whether I've really watched a Chuck Norris film. You know, I kind of know by reputation what he does. There are these running jokes concerning Chuck Norris. I think some of them appear in a volume called The ABC of Manliness, right? Which you know, there's a section on Chuck Norris in there, and there's the kind of, you know, Chuck Norris punched a volcano, or, you know, Chuck Norris shits grizzly bears and things like that. So, but I don't think I've ever actually watched one, you know, at least not with him in the lead role. So, well, this to look forward to. I think I know what I'm going to get. You know, it's kind of Reagan period, Stars and Stripes tough guy stuff, I would guess. But, you know, after a couple of drinks. A double feature of Sonny Chiba, which, you guess I'm gonna get some ass-kicking kung fu out of this. All right, okay. I haven't watched any of these yet, incidentally. And finally, which I have seen, but years ago, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think this has got to be the original one. Looks like the original. I kind of know how it goes. So yeah, it's never my favourite. I never had a big fixation on it, but a freebie, that's all right. Was it ever novelised? Incidentally, I need to look into that. Anyway, that's it for now. I do have something else scripted, which I suppose I better start recording. But I thought because I hadn't done anything in a month, I'd just churn something out quickly. So there you go. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing okay out there, staying clear of the lurgy, staying clear of the storms. I will hopefully see you very soon. Hello and thank you to all new subscribers, by the way. I had a bit of a flurry recently, so thank you.